So we are back. We're back from our holidays. So the last couple of videos have been a bit sort of out of sequence, if you like, because we've been on
Mm.
holiday and talking about that. But we thought we'd come back a little bit to the subject of making the children legally ours, because once the children move in, I think we talked about it a little bit, but meetings don't stop. There's a lot, aren't there? Still.
Yes, it's a lot of meetings.
Because you're meeting with the children's social worker, with your social worker, with the independent reviewing officer, with the virtual school. There's all of these things because you don't have full parental responsibility for the children at that point. So you need to wait at least 10 weeks before you can legally or apply to legally adopt. And I remember, I don't think you were on the call with the independent reviewing officer because it was their decision.
Mm.
Um, but I think I remember phoning you afterwards and saying we can do it now. But after 10 weeks, I think it was about 12 weeks actually with us. They said, okay, you can go ahead and do the paperwork for legally adopting.
The thing we did though is we didn't rush straight into it. Hindsight in this stage of the process is a wonderful thing. We was told with the one of the charities who we worked with, New Family Social, we was told by our mentors there, make sure you have everything in place before you go to court, because once you go to court, you've got to fight. And at the time, which is why hindsight's a wonderful thing,
Yeah,
we thought we had everything in place. We didn't need any additional support or assessments for our kids. So that's an important thing. If there's something niggling you that you think's not right and needs investigating, do it before you go to court, is what I would
yeah.
say.
But even so, we were told. I think it was in the December that we could
Mm,
apply to the court, but we didn't actually do it till February
no.
or start doing it, and then it got a bit complicated because,
You missed an I, you didn't dot a
well,
cross.
yeah, the forms, they were really, really, really particular about how you fill the forms in from the court, from where the children came from, because it was that court for that county that we had to go through, and there was a mistake I made filling in the forms, and you didn't notice it when we were checking the
No.
forms, and it was as silly as birth mother's name was put differently in terms of maiden name and married name on the birth certificate for the two children, and in your mind it's like quite obvious what you're writing, but it wasn't word for word what was on the birth certificates. So I think we ended up submitting 3 times,
Mm.
and then the final time, and then we started.
Losing the will to live, hoping that we wouldn't get. But you saying that, that's a really another important thing to consider, because if you haven't adopted locally through your local agency and you adopt outer county, out of your area, wherever you're adopting, the court hearing will take place in the district, county, town where the child or children come from. So, for instance, if you live in London and you've adopted a child in Scotland, you're going to have to go
Mm,
to Scotland
which, which
for the court hearing.
which we didn't because
We was in a
we were in
pandemic.
the middle of a pandemic, but also the birth parents applied to contest, didn't they?
Yes, because two men bringing up a child was not normal and they would not know how to bring up children.
Yes, so that meant the process took longer. Um, it took about 3 months, I think, from the point at which we finally submitted the paperwork properly, because there was a first hearing where the birth parents wanted to apply to contest, and then there was a second hearing to determine whether they were allowed to contest or not. And then there was the third hearing, which was actually the hearing about placing the children with us.
Was that where I wanted my Judge Judy moment?
Yes, but the thing about the first two was we weren't allowed at them,
No.
which was a really weird experience and feeling, because you've got people in a room talking
Determining
about
your future.
determining your future, and you know that everything's been gone through, and you know you wouldn't be at this point if all of the social services weren't agreed and everything, but you've got this. You're still pacing around the floor when you know it's happening because you're not there. But then we were allowed at the last one, weren't we? When you wanted your Judge Judy moment.
Thank you. I wanted my Judge Judy moment. So if you've ever watched Judge Judy, Judge Rinder, you know, the prosecution, they have that. Anyway, we weren't prosecuting, but you know what I mean. And I was there ready. I was there with my evidence. I wanted to take objection, Your Honour, and stuff like that. And it basically was...
It was virtual.
It was virtual. Are the prospective adopters here? Yes. Is the social worker representing the prospective adopters here? Yes. Is the social worker representing the children? Yes. Parents are not present in this. So the judgment is the adoption is awarded. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, the hearing, it was ever so slightly longer than that because it took a whole 6 minutes. But it
I
was...
could have spoken slower, but for the point of the viewers,
I know.
I
I'm
spoke
just saying, it took a grand total of 6 minutes, and you sort of walked away. The kids were at school, and we sort of walked away from it with a, oh,
is that it?
That's it.
I was there to argue, but the children are better with us. And it was just like, yeah, they're yours. Oh, okay.
But then we had to go through the process of getting birth certificates. And we took a decision, so we tweaked our daughter's first name, basically the spelling of it. And then we changed their middle names, so their middle names were changed so that they were part of our family name. So my dad's name, and my mum's name, and John's dad's name and mum's name in the middle names, which we thought was important, didn't we?
Yes.
And then we had to apply for, so we applied for the birth certificates. That took a while, but they came through, and then they came through and sort of went in a drawer, and have mostly stayed in a drawer.
Yeah.
Ever since.
I think the other thing that you need to be mindful of as well is our children, when in foster care, they had bank accounts open for them. And then obviously when they legally became ours, what we forgot to do for about 5 years, because, you know, things were moving.
4 years.
4 years. Okay. 5 years. Anyway, we had to change the bank accounts, and oh my God, what a palaver that was. So when you've got your court hearing, when you've finally been told, yes, those children are yours, if they have bank accounts in their former name, once you have the birth certificates, get everything changed there and then. The nightmare to change with the GPs as well, because they'll be issued with new NHS numbers. It's all these things you don't think about. So changing the names with the GPs, making sure that that system communicates with other systems, because there was for a couple of months when we had to go to hospital and they were still using the children's former surname, when no, actually this is their surname now.
And school had to change their names properly, and
so yeah, there's lots to consider.
Yeah, so that's the whole piece around the point of which we're sort of getting to legally have the children belong to us, and they can't be taken away, and they're ours now.
And I think that's the most important thing to reinforce with your children, is that now that that piece of paper has been signed, you're not going anywhere. You're here.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we don't celebrate, recognize, or remember that day at all, really. The day that we remember more is the day of our celebration event. But we can talk about that next time.
We will talk about that next time. And the other thing is, you know, our kids now realise that will never let them go, and we'll always be with them. You know, we'll never be apart. Although saying that, listen, because we're having our holiday because they've gone on holiday for another week. They've gone off with Nanny. So we're here having our own holiday, talking to you. Aren't you lucky?
All right, so next time we'll talk a little bit about Celebration Day and maybe a couple of other things. But until then, thank you very much. Let us know if you want just to answer anything in particular. Any comments, questions, queries, or anything. I'm just going on and on and on now. Do you want to go on about anything?
I'll just try and be Butch for the next video.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.